Everyone, welcome back to the Forward 4 keynotes. To open this session, let's once again welcome Mary Tetlow.
Hello, welcome back this afternoon. Well, this is our closing session of the day. I hope you enjoyed meeting out in Expertsville, the nice seated lunch, if you had that, or the box lunch. I know I needed a nap after lunch, which I didn't get to take, but we've once again sort of dodged nature's bullets we were in here when there was a storm earlier, and by the time we came out, you never would have known it. So we are getting ready for tonight's automation celebration out in Expertsville. It's being totally transformed while we're in here. That's at 7:30 until 9:30 or 10. But now is our afternoon keynote, and it's my privilege to be able to introduce our UiPath CEO and founder, Daniel Dines.
Well, hello everyone. Give me a second to see how many of you are here. It's really awesome. It's been so long since we've been together. It feels like an eternity to me. And I'm not a Zoom guy. I am someone that gets energy from the room. And you know, guys, I'm not much of a speaker. My skills are rusty anyway. But seeing you, it carries me on. It gives me all the energy I needed. I've been this couple of days with many partners, customers. I met some UiPathers for the first time. It's really awesome. But to put things in perspective, we've been in the last 18 months through a lot of hardship. I still remember how gloomy it was in March last year. So the moment when I realized that we are onto something really tough was a very interesting moment. So on 12th of March, I was with Brandon and Ashim, and we were feverishly doing plans. How do we cope with this thing that we don't know about almost anything? So it was a Friday night in New York, and we went to a restaurant. And usually you have to make reservations, big time. So we went to Zuma, which is next to our office. It's a fancy Japanese restaurant. It's a really cool one, in case you want to visit. And to our surprise, it was empty. Friday night, empty, in New York. That was really the sign that we are kind of, the F word is coming upon us. But we learned once again that we humans thrive on hardship, thrive on adversity. And we have also proved that our mission to accelerate human achievement is not a simple word on paper. We have proved that automation had its part into helping us getting out of this pandemic. We have worked with many of our customers. We have worked with Ecolab early in the pandemic to help them increase by 9 times the production of hand sanitizers. We have worked with Amazon that had the surge of hundreds of thousands of job applicants to face with the demand for the remote delivery. We have worked with Cleveland Clinic, and we were able to reduce by 90% the waiting time for COVID tests. We have worked with Mater Hospital, and we have reduced 3 hours per day for every nurse in that hospital. And in turn, they were able to focus on patients. So we prove we are a company with the purpose. And I think this is very important for our customers today, because this event is about you. We want to cherish your accomplishments. We want to learn from you. We want to listen from you. And we will, as long as we are true to our mission, we will stay customer-centric. And my presentation is about how can we stay customer-centric, how can we serve our customers, how can we build products and ecosystem and environments and missions that are truly customer-centric. And today, it's really my pleasure to have a few of our great customers, amazing success stories with me. So I will start by inviting Leila Delic, our lovely customer out of Turkey. She's heading automation at Coca-Cola in Turkey. Leila, it's amazing to have you. You are such a wonderful person.
Thank you.
And you are really mature in your journey towards automation. But I would like to learn about your first step. Why did you choose us? How did it work initially?
Sure, absolutely. So as many of you, to survive in this era and any era to come, you have to be a relevant business for your customers and employees. So we started with customer experience. We said we're going to change the business model and we're going to generate new revenue streams through new business models. You cannot improve customer experience if you are inefficient internally. So we said, all right, we need to optimize our assets and we need to change the way our teams work efficiently so that we can respond to customers faster. And that meant a lot of data and a lot of automation. We started with quick wins. As you can imagine, it's a seismic change for a company like Coca-Cola İçecek doing the same thing for so many years, but so good. We are changing the business model. We are changing the way people operate. Seismic change. We had to make sure everybody comes along in this change journey and they trust that we can do it. So RPA and UiPath was our quick win to showcase to all our employees that we can do this and we can do it together. Why UiPath? First of all, you have a great technology team. You have a great local team. But for us, what was important is, and I will talk about it later on, building intellectual property internally is the only way you can go both far and fast in your journey. UiPath allowed us to build that intellectual property inside. We said, number two, we have to co-innovate. We have a lot of use cases. We have taught leadership. Will you be open to co-innovate? And then we looked at, we said, how much do you invest in innovation? And you the other day said, you don't even know the numbers. So that's exactly what we look for in a technology partner. And these are the key criteria for us to be successful in this big seismic journey.
Leila, you've been one of the first customers to embrace the fully automated enterprise mantra. And you have put automation at the center of your digital transformation strategy. We'd like to learn more about your journey.
Sure, absolutely. So we have embarked on a new vision towards autonomous enterprise. We are sitting on so much of data and technology capability that we have been building in the past 3 years. We started with task automation. So for our customers, it's a B2B platform. For our assets and supply chain, it's command center. It's all based on intelligent workflows. And for our people, it was task automation. But we said, we are not getting to the heart of automation. There's so much more to capitalize. So we said, well, we are talking about digital twin of supply chain and plants. Let's look at digital twin of the processes. And with process mining now, we have embarked on the journey. I had a chance to share our outcomes earlier on, just with one process, one country reaching so much of cycle time improvement, many hours of productivity, but more importantly, a cash outcome and a faster delivery for our customers. So we're going to continue that. And a natural evolution will be where we get to human out of the loop, because we want our people to work on value-added work. We want to minimize, eliminate the non-value-added work from what our teams do, and we want them to focus on customer.
Speaking about people and the future of work, I know you are a big proponent on the reskilling of the workforce.
Absolutely.
So what do you do about it?
So, we as technologists are a minority, but we impact majority. The technologies that we bring and the outcomes we generate, we are so excited. What we heard today and what we're going to hear today, I'm sure all of us are going to go back with lots of ideas and use cases on to POC or lots of use cases to implement. While we do this and while we develop technology and product roadmaps, we also have something called people roadmap, so that we can proactively monitor the skills that our team members will require, going fast-forwarding the completion of that technology, and also the changes in the roles so that we can minimize the impact. And with that, we started 3 big programs for reskilling and upskilling our employees. But then we said it's not enough. It wasn't fulfilling enough. We were reskilling and upskilling our employees, and we're going to continue to do that internally within the enterprise. But our community needs a lot of help as well. Technology is removing barriers. Companies like UiPath, by investing in low-code, no-code, better UI, is removing barriers. So we said we need to do something for those people who are trying and striving to get back into the economy, but it's very tough for them to get into. With the partnership of UiPath, we trained women of various age groups who have left workforce due to various reasons. So many years ago, they left the workforce when the work was very different, and they are trying to re-enter this era we call digital, where the skills required are very different. So with the partnership of UiPath, we trained women. They are now getting certificates, and we are helping them to join the economy. We can do this for everybody and a lot of minority groups.
Laila, this is awesome, really. This is so kind. But as the last question, please tell the customers and the prospects that have not started yet how it is to get started. What is your best advice for them?
If they haven't started, you are too late. So, you know, we live in an era where we are talking about, I'm sure all of you have the discussions at some point in time, where fear of falling behind. That should really concern you. That should keep you awake. Fear of falling behind. You don't know where the disruption is coming from. So, couple of things. One, build your intellectual property and technology depth within your enterprise. Number 2, make sure that you balance, when you go through an automation journey, make sure you balance empathy with financial outcomes and prioritize based on these 2 very critical imperatives. And then number 3, speed with sense of urgency. Data and technology is a new base for every company. It's the new operating system. So you have to move really fast to go really far.
Thank you, Laila. This is awful.
Thank you.
I'm gonna steal this line.
Do that. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Next. My pleasure to introduce our next guest, Hugh Richards, Head of Digital Investment Banking, JP Morgan. Thank you for coming here. Hugh, we have worked with JP Morgan for about a year so far. I now know you are a bank with the mission. So I would like that you start telling us about your mission and how we can help you with your mission.
Great. Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, I can hear you, but...
Now can you hear me? Maybe my mission wasn't that important. So I want to start with a little bit about myself and a little bit about my business, which is I run the Digital Investment Bank, which is established firmly within the investment bank at JP Morgan. We're not a lab. we're not technologists. Any of you that have met me or are going to meet me will definitely know I'm not a technologist, unlike Daniel and many of the other people. But our objective is to collaborate with our business in our mission, which is to build the investment bank of the future today. And when we think about that, what that means that if we do our job well enough, we won't be the digital investment bank anymore. We'll just be an investment bank. This will be business as usual. So what we look to do is we look to deploy existing and emerging technologies to help our clients in their strategic decision making, which for us means capital raising and advice around mergers and acquisitions. And in order to do this, we work on two different axes. We work on efficiency and we work on insight. And our absolute mission is on how we're going to deploy automation and better processes to free up non-productive time and reallocate it to what's important most, reallocating it to giving strategic advice to our clients. So when we think about UiPath and how they align with our mission, it's very much along these lines of how it's the platform that's going to help us allocate our human capital, which is our only resource. Remember, unlike many of you in the room, we don't make anything, we don't bottle anything, we don't produce anything, we just give advice. So human capital is what we do, and how we allocate that from one place to another, UiPath is going to be a critical component of that.
Well, this is awesome. Tell me, does the focus on digital transformation has accelerated the adoption of automation across the bank?
Well, from our perspective, I was asked to start my team about 3 years ago. And we started to focus on what we believed was going to be important to our clients and our employees. And to quote one of the speakers earlier, what we got completely wrong was the catalyst that was going to move us from important to urgent. And like everybody else, the past year, we saw a massive shortening of cycle times. We saw an explosion of deal volumes, probably 5, 6, 7 times the types of transactions we've had. We've had the same number of people in the shortening of cycle times. And while we executed extraordinarily well, if I may say so, the system came under a significant amount of pressure. And so what's changed for us is not necessarily our priorities, but the urgency with which we're executing on them. So I want to just cover a few of those priorities and sort of where we are. So the first of those is building a set of use cases, tangible use cases that our businesses can relate to. You have to remember, unlike a lot of you, in investment banking, we have Microsoft Office. That's it, period, full stop. So when we talk about technology, when we talk about deployment, and we talk about automation, we have to sort of really explain to people, what is this? And a lot of the read across from different places, different areas, doesn't necessarily resonate. So we've had to build these use cases, and again, taking advice from previous speakers, we've done that as crowdsourcing. We've had all of our employees come learn and give us sort of their best ideas. The second thing that we've prioritized is working with our brilliant Center of Excellence who are here, who've had lots of great expertise working in other areas to help us build some scale solutions to prove to people that this works. When I walk into a room and I talk automation, I talk technology, everyone in banking looks at me, rolls their eyes, and they're like, show me. Okay, so the best part is we're now being able to show people. But the third priority, which I have right now, which we're beginning to execute on now, is it's all about training and development. It's all about how do we take our employees and turn as many of them as possible into citizen developers. Scale is going to be really important for us. Unattended is going to be very, very important for us. But because of the idiosyncratic nature of our business, the real change is going to come from small groups of people working on specific client problems that can deploy automations themselves rather than waiting for a top-down edict.
Well, speaking about talent, there's been some chatter recently that there is a burnout among investment bankers. Do you see a way that automation can help you retain and hire talent?
Yeah, very much so. Look, I made 22 years ago, which is embarrassing to say, I made a Faustian pact, as everyone does who joins our business, which is I was going to, in exchange for working on some of the most exciting transactions for some of the most interesting companies in the world, such as UiPath, I was going to give up a fair amount of my autonomy to my clients' demands. Right? That was the trade I was going to make. And I believe that everybody that comes into our business, they sign up for that pact, right? It's the trade they make. So no one in our business wants to work less hard. No one wants to not work as hard as they can for their clients. So our focus is nothing to do with quantity of work. As I told you earlier, I get quite upset when the media is like, oh, this is all about people wanting to work less. It's not about wanting to work less. It's about quality of work. And for us, that means how can we get you as an employee closer to the client? Rearranging logos on a page, that doesn't get you close to the client. Helping them negotiate a transaction, that gets you close to the client. And so when we think about automation, we're going to train it as a continuum. Right? We're not just going to say, we're going to teach you UiPath. We're going to teach you UiPath, we're going to turn you into a citizen developer, but we'll simultaneously going to train you on other skills that as you take that time that we're freeing up, you can redeploy that into data, analytics, Python, soft skills, negotiating, client building, et cetera, because we believe our transformation is a platform, is a continuum, not a single point in time change.
And because in the end, the goal is to deliver value for the customer. And how do you see automation improving customer experience?
So we're very much on the beginning of our journey here. So I haven't got to the point yet of where we're exposing any of our automations directly to our clients. But the one thing that we have seen, which has been quite resonant, particularly with me and lots of others in our business, is you often felt as a banker that you were very constrained about what you could do for a client versus what you wanted to do for a client. And the could and can do for a client was really based around time. How much time do I have to do this? Can I do that one extra scenario? Can I do the same amount of work for this one extra client? And you invariably had to make choices, right? You couldn't deliver either all the work or you couldn't deliver it to everybody you wanted to. And what we found, I think, from a client experience perspective, is that now we're able to deliver, because we have not just more time, but we can scale all of our analytics. We can scale all of our analytics across. We can make them deeper and go broader with the same amount of resources and the same amount of time. And I would say from a client experience perspective, that's allowed us to expose better work, more in-depth work to a broader range of people. So while they don't see the automation, what they are seeing is the benefits of that's being expressed in those ways.
Well, this is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
Really appreciate you coming here. Next, I have the pleasure to invite here a good friend of mine, Junaid Ahmed, Corporate Vice President in Finance, Applied Materials. Our journey, we met 2 years ago, and I was in person, fortunately. And Junaid literally told me, Daniel, I know we are behind in automation, but we want to jump into the forefront of building an agile finance organization. And I was a bit skeptical at that time. And I know many of you probably don't know how big Applied Material is, but their engineering solutions power all devices that we are using. It's a Fortune 200 companies. So I should have been less skeptical, and Junaid proved me wrong. But I would like to tell me more about your role and how did you get started with the idea of this transformation in finance.
Sure. Thank you, Daniel. It's great to be here. Applied Materials is the world's #1 semiconductor and display equipment company. Like Daniel said, our materials engineering solutions help to produce virtually every new semiconductor chip and advanced display. 2 years ago, when I had that fateful meeting with Daniel, the CFO and finance leadership team were facing a serious challenge. Our company had doubled in size over the prior 5 years as the industry got structurally larger. Then, as we looked ahead, we saw another steep growth curve facing us on the back of AI and big data market inflection. We knew, given how resource constrained we had become, we were not well positioned to successfully support the company through this new wave of growth. We needed to create organizational bandwidth, greater effectiveness in the function, and do it fast.
What drives this urgency to transform finance in months and not years? Most of the people, will say we have a plan, a digital transformation over many years, but you compress the time. And I wanted to tell you, it resonates very well with other customers. Today, I met one of the largest public agencies in the US. And this is exactly the question. How can we get to value faster?
Absolutely. Let me give the audience a little perspective on our transformation. Agile finance was established with 3 specific goals for the organization. Number 1, significantly enhance the scalability and effectiveness of finance in support of the company's growth objectives. Number 2, establish improved career fulfillment for our finance employees. And number 3, maybe most importantly, move finance to a digital way of working, a way that will help us drive greater business agility across the enterprise. So in essence, what are we trying to do? We're trying to create the next generation digital finance organization, an organization that will allow us to manage through the increasing business complexity and dynamic nature of our marketplace. Now, we needed to do this within 3 years. We needed that organization to be there. And so within 3 years, so everything we did had this go fast, go big approach tied to us. Time was not on our side.
Of course, but return on investment is on your side. And it's an important metric for you and every finance leader I know. Did Agile Finance deliver on its promises?
Short answer is yes, but let me elaborate. ROI is important, absolutely important, but the key is not to be myopic about it. We think about ROI in 3 different ways. Firstly, work effort savings or bandwidth creation through automation. We've automated over 275,000 hours of work effort in support of our global transactional processes. Within a year and a half, the largest part of that has been enabled through our UiPath platform. Thank you. Part of those savings drop to the bottom line. Part of them are in support of cost avoidance for business growth. Number 2, driving actionable insights to enable timely business decision-making. We have created an expansive and new digital application portfolio for finance, one that sits atop our ERP and data lake infrastructure. This gets fast and high-quality data into the hands of our finance professionals and then gives them the tools to allow them to iterate, analyze, model, and understand what may the future bring. So, let me regroup here. Last point I want to make on this is that, sorry.
That's okay. You are really, I think what you've done extremely well was to push the automation agenda to get executive sponsorship in applied material. So how do you advise other leaders here to push this agenda to get really executive sponsorship? Because this is the only way to achieve speed in deployments across a big enterprise.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to come back to the ROI.
Okay.
There's just one very important
ROI
point.
is important.
ROI, I've had lots of ROI conversations.
Yeah.
This is important. This is important. You know, the third part of that ROI is about us instilling confidence in our teams to strive for that optimal and timely analysis, to strive for that incremental process improvement, to strive to get to real-time business performance, to strive to answer the question that hasn't been asked. When you get hundreds of smart finance professionals at your company striving each day to answer the question that has not been asked, that's the true ROI of digital transformation.
That's it. So, how can we push automation agenda to get executive sponsorship?
Yes. For me, the key word here is relevancy. Automation is an enabler. Understand your organization's business strategy. How will automation enable it? How will it help you execute the strategy? maybe even accelerate it. Understand not just the first order impacts, but also the second and third. Sometimes they're equal or higher value. Now, once you've tied automation enablement to strategy, don't go off and create a new strategic narrative around automation. Make automation a core part of the existing strategic narrative. If you do this successfully, you would have made automation a relevant and important part of your organization's core business strategy.
Thank you, Junaid. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I'm humbled by these stories. This is how we build this company. Again and again, I will never stop saying, we build not a product, we build a company by listening to customers and making them happy, seeing that many of them put their careers online is really what gives me joy. And our company, it's product, but it's also ecosystem, it's our culture, and it's our purpose. So I'm gonna give you a bit of glimpse of where we are going on all of these directions. So, 2 years ago, on this stage, I had the opportunity to introduce the biggest transformation of our product from a single RPA-focused product into an end-to-end automation platform. We've been the first, I think, in this market that have seen the need of consolidation across a few pillars. And we've been the first because we have listened to our customers. One of the bottleneck in deployment is into discovery of processes. So we've built our process discovery tool. We have process mining, task mining, automation hub, task capture, all well integrated, providing value to the customers. We have built AI Center, building, basically helping our customers overnight to reimage their operations with AI. And we have built software for multiple personas. Because I think a true platform is the one that addresses the needs of multiple personas. This is, in my opinion, the biggest difference between a product and the platform. And we do have software that is for citizen developer. Our Studio X, it's really one of the most amazing products that we ever released. So it pushed the envelope to the people that can deliver automation. We have tools for professional RPA developers. We've built tools for process analysts, for AI developers. We've done a fantastic job, I think, for the IT, helping them to deploy at easy our technology and build governance tools to give them the assurance that everything is doing under the corporate walls, under a strict governance. And not the least, we've built software for all business users. All business users can consume automation. So I think that what we promised 2 years ago, we delivered. But we will continue to innovate in this space. We will continue to do it at a fast speed. So I would like to give you a bit of a glimpse into how do we work inside? How do we build priorities? One of the, always we start with what brings faster time to value for customers, what brings the highest return on investment. So one of the biggest theme, major theme for us is reduce the friction of adoption. And this is why we have massively invested into cloud. I want to remind everyone that we have built our cloud orchestrator. We have launched it in production 4.5 years ago, in beginning of 2017. That was instrumental in powering our community. This is how we were able to build such a large community of practitioners, because they could have experimented directly in the cloud, no friction for adoption. So we continue to invest heavily into cloud. We are a cloud-first company. We delivered everything first in the cloud. We have a 2-week cycle for delivering into the cloud, and we also deliver twice a year on premises. Another great way of reduction the friction is to make sure that our tools are simple to use. And we've continued evolve into making our studio, building academy, making sure everybody can get into the platform and can be productive day one. We have started an easy program to try and buy in the US. We are extending it to the entire world. Ultimately, our goal is that for everyone on this planet, with one click, to start building automations, one click, push it in the cloud, and run with zero maintenance. And we believe that, and our mission is to leave no manual workflow behind. I don't think we, as humans, were really meant to do manual, repetitive work. Everyone is better off without this. And our mission is to run all the manual workflows ever in our cloud, in our hosted and managed environment, and solve a big issue for humanity. Thank you. Second big major theme is to reduce the gap between humans. Second is expanding use cases. I better check this. Ted has spoken at length about it in the morning session with all our investments in process discovery. But what I am really focused on today is to talk to you about how we can reduce the gap between how robots operate and humans operate. And this is when we really want to present the next evolution of our thinking. This time it's not a platform. It's a thinking that we bring. It's an initiative that we call semantic automation. And this is all about how can we make technology more human? How can we make technology emulate people much more closely? And this is really, what do we miss in our approach? Our robots can see, we say think, they can do actions. But there is one thing that our robots don't do it. They don't understand. And this is really what creates a lot of brittleness in the process, a lot of complexity in deploying automation. And to give you a sense of how it is for a robot to work today, is to picture someone that I will take someone and I will parachute them into a delivery center in Japan. And I will ask them, just learn a process there. And there will be people explaining to this guy, you do this and this, and they will work only Japanese documents, invoice. You'll have to tell them, this is address, always. They have to remember, this is the address, take the address. This is the address field, take this, take. And they will always be confused. They have to repeat, really, to the very, very detailed, this process. You cannot just tell them, this is an invoice, this is a screen, just enter the information from this invoice on the screen. Something changes in the invoice from another vendor, they are lost. Because they don't have the understanding of what's on there. And I think I can illustrate this concept even better with an example. This is a process when a physician refers a patient to a specialist. So as you can see, this is like a 13-step process. But this one can be, so this is what a human would do, like 13 steps. But when you go and if you look at it, you'll see there are some kind of logical steps that you don't have to go and explain into details to a person, at least when you try to train them. So it's about, you understand the document and then you extract the information from this document and then you open and log into the medical system and then you input the information. This is how you basically would train a human user. You don't have to tell each individual field. This is what we are trying to achieve with semantic automation. You will tell the robot, you understand this document, and then you extract the information. The robot will understand data, will extract automatically the information, will understand how to log in automatically to the platform, and will enter the information. And this is all going to be reduced to 5 steps. And this has really a lot of, it's of significant importance because it reduces the complexity. It helps adapt better to changes. It doesn't matter the fields will change. It's not going to be brittle. Once you have the information, once you have the understanding, you will work much better. So, in order to do this, we will have to work really across of our platform. This is about data. It's about documents. It's about application. It's about process. You know, companies build data lakes. They build taxonomies. They build structured data to define their businesses. Our robots have to understand data. We made, you know, a few steps with our data services. We've built taxonomies. And we'll just have to make it prevalent in the system. And then we need to understand documents. Because in most of the processes, you will see they start with documents, there are documents in the middle, there are documents in the end. And you need to apply data to a document. This is key. If I understand this is an invoice, I need to get the structured data, taxonomy of an invoice, recognize the invoice, and make the extraction automatically into that invoice. We need to be capable of relating entities to documents. This is a big part of how humans operate. And we have started this journey with our document understanding technology. We really doubled down on our effort in this area, and we will see a lot of us. A third, where we need to make a huge leap, is on understanding the applications. We made a lot of effort to make our automation better using computer vision, but there is one step further. It's really understanding what is a screen about. If a screen is about a patient information, we don't really have to code every field on that screen. We don't have to tell a robot where all these fields are. We just tell them this is a patient information screen. And the robot will be able to fill the information automatically. And of course, it's about the process. A robot executes perfectly a process, but they don't understand what they are doing. The moment it understands this is an invoice processing, this is a patient processing, this is a banking processes, it's gonna be capable of doing things more reliable. It's gonna improve the analytics. Think about of only one aspect of the moment when you understand process, data, documents, applications, you get together all the data that are today in multiple silos into the organization. Once you understand customer data, you understand customer data in Salesforce, in NetSuite, in SAP. You get it together and you create a fantastic backend for your analytics. And the value of semantic automation, it's really tremendous. Think about it. It increases the speed of development. Because instead of coding so many steps, you will describe the process much faster. This, in turn, increases the return on investment, and it provides a faster time to value. To us, that was always one of our biggest competitive advantage, allowing our customers and partners build faster. And we continue on these promises. This is going to build more reliable automations because robots will be able to adapt to changes because they understand the changes. We will be able to create more process to automate because of our process discovery tools and because of our process understanding. Better analytics, like I said. And very important, we will put the power of automation in the hands of more people. The more we simplify the development, we open it to a lot more people. And you'll see later how important it is when we talk about automation for good. Now, I said that a company, it's about product, but also about ecosystem. And we were really fortunate because of building an open architecture. We built a tremendous number of great technical partnerships. We always wanted to do what's best for our customers, so we brought the best companies out there in our platform. And as a great example, you heard in the morning about our partnership with CrowdStrike. This is an amazing company. I think in security, it's probably the best company that exists today. So we partner with them to increase the security of our robots, and it's really something unique in the market right now. It's a testament to how we think about our customers. We always are customer-centric. We always want to bring really the best of ecosystem to them. And this is something that is very dear to me. We've been working with Accenture for a long time. I remember when I met the Accenture team in London like 6 years ago, and they were doing some really kind of revolutionary work, and they were an inspiration to us. And then I went to India, and they have chosen us for attended automation. And then we started to work more closely together. And today, I'm really happy that we are announcing a huge milestone in our partnership. This is really something amazing for us. I always challenge my team. You shall be able to do better with Accenture. And now, today, they deliver. Before inviting someone that is really the brain behind this technical partnership, I would like to show you a quick video from Paul Dougherty. which is the Group Chief Executive in the Technology Group and Chief Technology Officer of Accenture.
Hello, Daniel, and everyone at Forward 4. I truly wish that I could have been there with you for what is the largest industry event in automation. As the leader in helping clients achieve transformational outcomes through the use of digital technologies, Accenture is today proud to announce a strategic initiative designed to accelerate client adoption of enterprise automation to boost digital transformation efforts and create new growth opportunities for their businesses. Accenture will partner with UiPath to utilize the end-to-end UiPath automation platform to develop go-to-market strategies, solutions, and consulting service offerings around deployments for Amazon Web Services and SAP clients across several industries, with the initial focus on banking, insurance, manufacturing, and the public sector. Over the next 3 years, Accenture plans to add up to 10,000 specialists to our already leading automation practice. I'm excited to see our partnership deliver significant transformational outcomes for our clients over the next year. And Daniel, I look forward to joining you on stage in the future.
I look forward to, but for now, we have Adam Barton, which is really the Chief Software Architect of Accenture. Adam, please join me on the stage. Thank you so much for being here. Adam, in my previous life, I had the hat of a software architect, so that was really my love. Talk with developers, but nowadays they don't listen to me anymore. Anyway, I'm sure your developers listen to you. So I know that how difficult it is to drive innovation with technology. How do you manage all these big opportunities bringing technology into the picture?
It's a great question, and it's an awesome responsibility. Let me first just begin by saying that on behalf of our 630,000 employees around the world, we couldn't be more honored to be expanding this partnership. It's such a cool thing. I love this part of my job, right? I love coming up with creative solutions with technology to solve our clients' problems and to solve problems they didn't even know that they had. And I think that it's incumbent upon us as systems integrators, as consultants and others, to be unconstrained about our thinking and to bring knowledge and expertise in all of the disruptive technologies that are out there, but do it in a way that applies it to our clients' businesses to help them achieve the outcomes that they want. But it's our job. They see trees all day long. It's our job to see the forest. And I feel very passionately that when I go and I'm working on an automation project, it's my job to make sure that we're not just automating the processes of our clients that they have, we're automating the things that they want to have. And the way that I would really bring that to life as an example is a regional bank that I did some work at with automation. And we were doing things like KYC, know your customer automation and things like that, creating great outcomes for them. But they had a problem. They wanted to increase their top line revenue, and they were looking at new business areas. And one of them they had discounted previously. It was basically servicing loans to small and medium businesses. It just was unprofitable for them to do that. And they said, just ignore that. That's something we've looked into before. We can't make money doing that. And the challenge that I saw was, how can we make automation actually enable that as a business? And you talk about automation for good and for purpose. This is providing loans to a segment that wouldn't otherwise be able to do it so that they can thrive as well. And we did exactly that. So they have new top line growth. We automated this process. We did it in a super efficient way. They've got happy customers that weren't served before and creating great outcomes. And for us, that is exactly, what I see as our mission. It is a huge responsibility, but we need to bring these creative ideas and solutions and use our unconstrained thinking to come up with, automating things that they hadn't imagined as possible before.
Adam, as I have asked the other guests, how do you see automation in the perspective of the larger digital transformation initiatives? And also, what kind of outcomes do you see are on the radar of C-level executives?
Yeah, this has surprised me, and I think in the COVID era, it's changed, right? We see automation as actually a key ingredient in digital transformation and cloud migration. And in some ways, it kind of comes down to talent, Daniel. The capacity that our clients need, our customers need, to be able to conduct digital transformation, to enable their employees to do more customer experience work, to do more advanced analytics work. That's the thing that they've asked us to do. And when I'm talking with our clients, all of them talk about, at the C-suite level especially, the challenge that they have with talent, right? Getting the right talent, their talent's working on the wrong things that are too labor intensive, or they're not skilled in the right ways. And we see automation as a huge enabler, a catalyst to help make that talent work on the things that will unleash the possible in their business. And for many enterprises, and for the businesses that are represented here today by so many of your clients, this isn't a matter for us where they look at that and it's a matter of just surviving. This is how they will thrive in the digital era. And I feel like I look at this and I say, we want to automate the ordinary. I love exactly what you said. We say it slightly differently. Automate the ordinary and unleash the extraordinary, because that's what we have the possibility to do here. And when we are able to think about this in a different way, we can actually take that talent problem and turn it into a talent surplus for that client so that they can actually do the digital transformation, not just in the way that they would have done it in the past, but in the compressed schedule that COVID has put us all in. It's remarkable, and automation has become this key ingredient. It's no longer just a tactical thing that's done for top-line growth or for bottom-line saving. It's a strategic enabler to become digital enterprises.
This is very well said. I'm really happy that automation is becoming a key ingredient and is getting on the radar of executives, but I am doubly excited about our partnership. Yeah. And I'm very curious, how do you see it evolving?
Yeah, so there's so many things, but in the end, our partnership is more than just the sum of the parts, right? What we seek to do is to create better outcomes for our mutual customers. And there's three things that we're doing. There's more than that, but three things I would really highlight. One is capability. Adding 10,000, you heard Paul talk about this, new automation engineers in the market, new automation consultants and process advisors to help accelerate our clients' journey with automation and enable them to become more digital businesses. So capability is a big number one. The second one I would highlight is really around like accelerators and assets. So we will create industry assets together, just like what you were talking about, in the areas of like insurance, in banking, in manufacturing, and in public service to start with, and then expanding into other industries. These solutions will help clients in those spaces move faster with their automation journeys. And I think that's a huge, important outcome for all of us. But the third one is the biggest one. This is about innovation and collaboration. Hopefully you can kind of see my enthusiasm for working in this space. It's such an amazing opportunity for all of us, for folks in here that are passionate about automation, to think differently about tomorrow. And I know that between us, it's much more than just 1 + 1. It's 3 and more, especially with our clients together. We will do amazing things. And I think that innovation and collaboration, as we take our relationship, which has been one, I guess I would call it like we've been engaged and now we're married, okay? But I'm not giving you a ring, just to be clear. but I am giving you capability, offerings, and a lot of innovation.
Thank you so much. 1 + 1 is 11.
Yeah.
Binary notation. Now, I'm getting to our purpose, which is really something that makes me happy and humble. And I can say that I feel the luckiest person in the world, because life put me in a position where I feel I and this company that I helped creating it, it's doing something good for the world. Our purpose is to accelerate human achievement. And now, as a public company, we are drafting our agenda about environmental, social, and governance goal. And this is something that I would like to share with you today, how we think about it. You will hear a lot more from us in the next 60 days. For a starter, we have a big, I think, social responsibility. The least we can do, and we are doing, is to work with our company foundation, UiPath Foundation, whose purpose is to identify kids that live in families that cannot afford to give them the proper education, and we aim to bring them to reach their full potential. We started a few years ago. We have a lot of kids in our program. For now, we primarily work in Romania and India, but we aim to extend, across many other countries. We have a few people that work for our foundation here in Vegas. They have a booth. I really encourage you to step by and see some amazing videos. They've done some summer camps with them. They introduce technology to them. Just seeing the joy of these people, it's really rewarding. It's really worth it. Another important pillar for us is upskilling and reskilling people. And I really make kind request to all of you here. I know this is important for all of you guys. I think we can contribute a lot. So it's not only about the people, that are part of the automation program, but I think it's about everyone. And I think we will articulate our vision on upskilling and reskilling, and our aim is to bring all of our partners and customers and work together on this initiative. Of course, we are really here for protecting our environment, and we will detail what we are gonna do in this regard. We aim to provide a really solid corporate governance. This is, I think, important for us, for customers, for everyone. But today I want to speak a bit more about our initiative to do automation for good. And before bringing another customer of us on the stage, talking about their initiative, I would like to show you a video that moved me deeply, and I'm sure it's gonna have a big impact on you guys as well.
The robots were going to ruin everything. Remember? Dehumanize everything. Replace people. Except this funny thing happened. They saw humanity where others couldn't. Look at these faces. What do you see? Here's what the robots see. They see potential. They say, I like your brain. I like your intense focus and your extreme attention to detail. I wish I had more people like you. Here's one of the great things about robots. They don't discriminate. They don't see color or gender or even autism. They just see who you can be. This isn't charity we're talking about. This is opportunity. This is about tapping the minds of young adults with autism, half of whom are currently unemployed. This is about UiPath working to help make that happen, to give jobs and training and empowerment to people who can make a difference in a company and whose lives can be changed along the way by a good day's work, by a paycheck earned, by the feeling every one of us gets when we are valued for who we are. This isn't just about autism. It's about what each of us is capable of when given a chance.
Hey, Brian. Thank you so much for joining me here. It's been an amazing program that you've built at Dentsu. Dentsu, it's a customer for a long time. We met you guys first time 5 years ago, I think, in Japan, 4 or 5 years ago, and we've built really an amazing partnership since then. So I would like first to ask you, how does, a daily job, a daily work at Dentsu looks like today?
Sure. So for the audience members who might be aware of what Dentsu is, we're an advertising network of agencies, about 45,000 people strong, that are dedicated to delivering human-centric solutions for our clients in the advertising, media, marketing, creative, customer experience domain. At the center of that is people. So we don't have manufacturing plants. We're taking ideas and we're refining them to accelerate our people's potential to deliver exceptional value to our clients. And when we started our proof of concepts with automation 5 years ago, we were sitting down with a lot of people in our mid-office, media planners, people who were straight out of school, and they were burdened with this work that was expected of them that was Excel heavy, it was data entry heavy, and we're watching it and we're saying there's a schism between what our leadership thinks our people are doing and what they're actually doing. Our leadership wants to go in and talk about these incredible stories that we're eventually creating because of the hard work of people day to day. But that hard work doesn't necessarily have to exist in the way that it was existing. So you talk about tedium as our medium. We were seeing that with our eyes, and it was blowing our executives away because we wanted to enable people to be the best versions of themselves. When we sat down with one of the media planners on one of our major accounts, and we're working through this use case, I said, is this automation going to displace you? Are you concerned about it? Because job security is a key thing to everyone, especially when you get out of school. And she said, no, I am thrilled about this because I didn't go into significant student debt to take things from this spreadsheet and put it into this on-prem software that I've never seen a UI that looks like this. And I thought, can I take that messaging and kind of bring it to our leadership and eliminate that for you? I want to make sure we can give this capability to people across our organization so that you can be the best version of yourself and you can deliver that value that you want to go home and talk to your parents about. You don't want to go home and say, well, today I took a bunch of stuff from Excel and I put it in this Excel and then I redid it a few times because I got bored in the process. And as by virtue of that, your question was around the day-to-day, we're seeing that type of work evaporate because of strong citizen development programs that we're trying to bring to our people, not in an effort of eliminating human potential, but is to elevate it. we don't want to take that away from people. We want people to be the best versions of themselves, the things that they studied, their unique skill sets, their unique strengths, and then work within a complementary enterprise with our partners and our clients to make great things happen.
Yeah, it's extremely well said. And an interesting data point. Dentsu Tower in Tokyo is the only skyrise that goes completely dark at night because people don't have to work at night. This is powerful, and I hope we have our slight contribution to this really good work environment. But this short movie showed the power of automation for doing good. So I'm sure people here would like to learn more about this program.
Of course. So Automation for Good was a commitment that we made coming out of those proof of concept discovery sessions we were doing 5 years ago. We had these philosophical debates with the people who were starting this program saying, what is automation? What is applied AI? And there were 3 components that we just kept coming to on the whiteboard, and it was people, process, and technology. And given the human centricity of the solutions we deliver to our clients, we said we need to enable people internally and externally in every way possible so that we can continue to make meaningful progress as an enterprise, but also for society to make sure that we're fulfilling our commitments to the campaigns that we're putting out into the world. So Autonomy Works, which is the partner that we've had a 3-way partnership with Autonomy Works, UiPath, and Dentsu, employs people on the autism spectrum. And these people have muscles that we can't flex. And we were doing a lot of ad ops work with them, effectively outsourcing advertising operations to these people because of their extreme attention to detail, like you saw in the videos, that we just simply didn't have that skill set or capability internally. And we saw incredible, highly accurate work coming out of it at a pace that we just can't replicate with the skill sets that we had internally. So as we were developing our citizen development program, we thought, we're creating a digital exoskeleton for ourselves. It would behoove us to do that for our clients too, and make them aware of how you can supercharge your operations. So we actually, in partnership with UiPath, we set up botathons, or we call them hackathons at Dentsu, with Autonomy Works. Their CEO, Dave Friedman, and I are doing a session tomorrow. We'll go into more detail on how UiPath helped us to augment the training program to give RPA, Studio X development skills to these folks. And they started bringing a different perspective to how to apply these solutions. And it really spoke to us how the inclusivity of what can happen when you enable people with tools and resources they didn't previously have, and they bring a unique perspective along with that. So we started seeing things happen that we just didn't expect. We started seeing people creating use cases that just went beyond our own imaginations because we were limited by our own experiences. Fast forward, we recently collapsed 6 UiPath on-prem instances into the automation cloud, which has reduced the friction across Dentsu to increase collaboration across automation teams and pods throughout the organization. And then we were just having a conversation around, if we can do this internally, and we're not limited by the technical obstacles and debt, why can't we do this externally? Why can't we invite our partners from Autonomy Works in to help us with some of the more advanced features that Automation Cloud offers us? Jumpstart to today, where literally we're having training happening to accelerate this right now. We're leveraging Autonomy Works to do computer vision machine learning training. We're saying our attention to detail isn't going to enable us to give the rapid positive or negative reinforcement with an action center to the models that we would want. Our solution architects are burdened by doing that type of work. Autonomy Works is able to do that at such a high level of accuracy and at such a rapid rate that enables my solution architects to go and build more solutions and product. So you start to see this partnership complementary aspect start to happen because of that reduction of friction, which enables us to tackle and expand the set of use cases.
Oh, awesome. But thank you. What kind of results have you seen so far from this project?
I think that the most poignant outcomes from this project are that people are doing the things that they're best at. So from a solution architecture perspective, we don't have the limit of having to go in and do maintenance on the ML models, for example. We're able to go tackle our pipeline and automation hub, do assessment, do requirements gathering, and increase our conversion rate or our cycle time on ideas into solutions at the rate at which our business wants. That's what we see as a COE, or as a federated automation solutions team. On the autonomy work side, I think the videos just sets it the best way possible, where you're seeing that same value of work and that sense of purpose that everyone in this audience has when you show up to work every day, that sense that you want to leave after doing a hard day's work. We're bringing people who previously may have had a stigma around that. You heard the unemployment statistic in the video. We're bringing them along for the ride with us. We're enabling them to experience that same joy of work, of bringing value to clients, to yourselves, and then going home and talking about it in a meaningful way to the people that you care and love. I think that outcome is probably the most poignant aspect of what this program has been able to do, because outside of those working hours, we see awareness getting raised. We see people talking and having social dialogue about why haven't we done this sooner? Oh, well, it's because technology hasn't enabled us to do it. And that creates a horizon for us where the evolution of the rapid release cycles that we see within cloud offerings enables us to say, what if we just use our imaginations a little bit more and we find ways to bring other people who are peripheral within the traditional workspace into the workspace? Because at Dentsu, we really believe that the diversity of thought and inclusion is going to rapidly change the way that we work. And we've seen that in the past 20 months in every aspect of life. We're better together, and that aspect of seeing that manifest itself has been incredibly cathartic for UiPath, for Autonomy Works, for Dentsu, and for me personally.
Brian, continuing on the theme of empowering people through automation, how do you see it evolving?
I have to go back to my point. I'm not being lazy about it. It's the horizon. It's as new features are released and we start to understand how we can take those features and apply it to use cases that exist across our ecosystem and across our enterprise and our clients and our partners and our customers. That's the opportunity for us. And the more that we can spend time having constructive dialogue on how to apply those things in meaningful ways for the enterprise and for society at large, the better we're going to be as we find meaningful outcomes for those problems and for those solutions.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, this is the end of my presentation, but before letting you go to our reception party, I would like to thank you once again to all of you that take the incredible effort and courage to come here and meet us in person and restart, I think, the way of interacting. We are all moving into a new world. The future of work is here. Automation is a big part of the future of work. And we at UiPath are committed to make it a reality. And the last group that I want to thank is our own people, our own employees that made this company, good company, great company. They live and breathe our culture and our values. And this is, I believe, that makes the difference between long-lasting companies and companies that, are just seeking a business opportunity. Our culture embodies being humble, being bold, being fast, and being immersed. And I believe these are not only our values, but they are the values of the new way of working. I believe that all of us would like to live in a world that is driven by these values. Thank you all.